will determine the success of the Singapore transition. This was 4 years ago.
It's particularly a pleasure to have a representative of the Singapore government here on the occasion of our 50th anniversary. But we're going to talk a little bit about something a little different. We're not going to talk about NTUC, but we're going to talk about Singapore instead.
There are competitors who are better than us in this world. We compete against them by being cheaper than them. So if you're better than me, I try to be cheaper than you. Then we have competitors who are cheaper than us, then we try to be better than them. So we try to be cheaper than better, better than cheaper. That's how we create space for ourselves. All right? And I think that works very well up till now. But as the result of this downturn, the world has changed. The better competitors are becoming cheaper. The cheaper competitors are becoming better. So the only way for us to continue to survive and grow is to become cheaper, better, and faster. So in Singapore, if you hear this term called CBF economy, this is what we mean. A cheaper, a better, a faster economy. To be cheaper means to be more productive. To be better means to be more capable. To be faster means to be more adaptable.
Minister, thank you very much, because you solved one problem of mine. I try to explain to people in Switzerland, I live in Geneva, why are we not the Singapore of Europe? And you explained it very well. We should have had a program with the CBF. Very good.
That was 4 years ago. What about 2 weeks ago?
Apple shares trading below $400 for the second consecutive day, looking like they're going to close there for the first time since 2011. So is this the end for Apple as a great money-making machine?
Look, if we want to talk innovation, Google is probably the most innovative of all these companies, and they're still growing at a 20% rate. But to me, I look at Samsung as a Me Too company. They made their phones bigger, they changed the shape. I'm not really looking at them as having the same sort of ecosystem that Apple has. Apple combines software and hardware better than anybody else. Samsung takes other people's software and they come up with variations. There's like 100 Samsung smartphones. Hey, you throw that much stuff against the wall, one of them's eventually going to hit. All that said, it's inevitable that this sort of competition is just making things cheaper, faster, better for consumers. It may hurt.
That was 2 weeks ago. And a few days ago, famous blogger Miyagi on his website, this is what he said. Cheaper than Silicon Valley, better than China, and faster than Korea. So in other words, it doesn't matter whether what Singapore is a national economy or Apple Computers is one of the leading companies in the world, we all face the challenge of CBF. There's no running away from CBF. So the first how to succeed is to make sure that the Singapore economy will become more and more CPF. Let's look at how other countries are becoming more CPF. In USA, they are now using robot to work with human as one team. They're not using robot to replace the workers, but rather using robot to work alongside the workers so that they can form an effective human-robot team. They are using technology such as 3D printer, right, to print the impossible, right, to be cheaper, better, faster. What about China? China is also going through an industrial revolution to be more CBF. Every country is now making more use of robot. China likewise. The only difference is that China is adopting robot much faster than the rest of the world. And anything American can do, China want to do better. USA using 3D, using technology. China too, using 3D printer. Not to print the Great Wall of China, but to print, for example, prototypes, customized orders, short production, and so on. What about Singapore? We're not standing still. We too are running fast on this race of CPF. So for example, we're also preparing ourselves for the future of manufacturing, and at the same time, we're also transforming, upgrading our service standard here in Singapore. However, as we move towards this CPF as a first how, the question is, what is the implication for the workers?